Hey guys, it's MandaPanda and welcome to this week's custom My Little Pony video. We are going to be creating my favorite Toy Story character today, Jessie. I love her because she is such a brave cowgirl and she is such a go-getter. Who's your favorite Toy Story character? Let me know down in the comments below. We're using a large-sized Pinkie Pie for this custom because Jessie has so much detail in her cowgirl outfit, and the large pony gives us a lot more space so we can squeeze in a lot more of those details. Now she's all prepped and ready to begin the transformation. Let's start off by painting Jessie's body. Let's use a light beige color for the front legs. Those are going to be Jessie's arms. I'm going to be using 2, maybe even 3 coats of paint per color. Now let's switch over to a denim blue and paint the entire back half of the body. These are going to be her pants. Once those 2 colors have dried, we can switch over to white and paint in her blouse. Let's use a fine paintbrush and draw in the outline of her blouse. So let's paint in the line where the shirt meets the pants and where the shirt meets her hands. Then switch over to a thicker paintbrush and paint all inside of those lines. It's time for a bright sunny yellow. We are going to paint in the awesome Western design that she has on the front yoke of her shirt. It's this really cool like scallop design. We're gonna go in with yellow first, then outline the yellow with red, and then switch over to a very fine tipped paintbrush for a black dashed line. It's gonna look just like the stitches that Jessie has on this really cool cowgirl outfit. And the final paint touch here is going to be the squiggly rope design that Jessie has right at the front of her blouse. Now let's seal our paint job with 2 layers of top coat because the rest of the details on Jessie's outfit are going to be 3D, and we are going to be adding them to the pony using a Sugru. Sugru is an air dry rubber that I just personally prefer over air dry clay. It's easier for me to work with. Now we're going to start with a brown Sugru for Jessie's cowgirl boots. I just used my fingers to spread that on, smooth it out, and then I'm going to use a blunt clay tool here to even out the top edge of her boot, and I just want to square the toe a little bit, so let's cut off just the tip there, and that looks so awesome, just like her boot. I want to make it look like she has a sole to the boot, so I'm going to use that same tool and press in an indentation right at the bottom. Now let's use white Sugru for Jessie's cowgirl chaps. They are the leather piece that goes over her pants, and we're just gonna press that right on top of the boots, cut off the excess, shape those out really nicely, and then for the fringe we are gonna try out this new technique. Let's try our best to peel up the edge right here at the bottom of her boot. So I'm using an X-Acto knife to kind of press it off, scrape it off of the Sugru, and I have lifted that flap successfully. Let's use some teeny tiny nail scissors to cut in the fringe, and this looks so awesome. Oh my gosh. Let's use these same techniques to give her a chap on the other leg, and then give her a collar, some cuffs with the fringe, her belt, and belt loops. I let the Sugru dry for a couple of hours, and now it's ready for the final finishing touches, a little bit of paint. Using a nail dotting tool and some black paint, we are just going to randomly draw in splotches. They kind of look like ink blots, and this is going to give us the perfect cow print. I'm going to make some of the spots big, some of them small, and this just looks so awesome. The left chap and the right chap. Now it's time to give her cuffs the squiggly line, and the final thing she's missing are her pearl snap buttons. I found these, oops, oh my gosh, I found these perfect buttons at Hobby Lobby. They are a little pearl snap. I'm gonna press in those little prongs at the back and then just use some super glue to attach them right to the front of Jessie's blouse. That's the final step of Jessie's body. Let's finish it up and switch over to Jessie's head. Gonna use the same light beige color we used for her hands and paint the entire head using 3 coats of paint. Once that's dried, we can start working on Jessie's eyes. I want to make them nice and big and friendly and beautiful. So let's start off with white paint and lay down the general eye shape. Jessie's eyes are a beautiful shade of green, but to give them a little bit of depth, we're going to go in with a very dark green first and paint in the entire eye area that you want to have. And then I'm going to go over that dark green with a beautiful bright green, but leave the edges dark. It's gonna look really cool. It's gonna look like it has so much depth and dimension. So here's the bright green, and you can see I'm going almost all the way to the edge, but I do want to leave some of that dark and then just feather in the green so it looks like it has like a gradient ombre effect. This is just the way that I like doing the eyes now. I'm adding a little bit of white paint right to the center of the green, and while the paint is still wet, I'm gonna mix it up and give the eyes dimension so we get a lot of different shades of green. When that has completely dried, we can go in with black for her pupil. Now the hardest part about making a custom for me is the eyelashes. So I'm gonna very carefully use the tiniest, finest paintbrush that I have and outline the top of the eye and then go in and paint in her eyelashes. And then I'm going to use nail dotting tools to give her 2 light reflections, one big one at the top and a smaller one down at the bottom. That's it for the paint on the head, so let's seal it up with 2 layers of top coat and then give Jessie her new mane. And you guys have to check this out. I have red curly hair. Isn't this perfect for this custom? This is actually the same hair that I used when I made the Pennywise custom, and I have so much of it left over. I was like, this is going to be perfect for Jessie. The curly hair is going to kind of have the same effect as the yarn hair that Jessie has. So I'm just going to be using my standard re-rooting tool here, and I'm just getting a strand of red curly hair, folding it in half right on my finger and gently picking that up at the tip of my re-rooting tool there. Gonna press in to the hole here, and just like that, that hair has rooted itself inside of the pony. Now the process of doing this is going to take a little bit of time, but we're going to repeat this over and over again until Jessie has a full mane of new curly red hair. This is the final step of our Jessie custom, so let's put her together and take a look at our completed pony. Here is Jessie from Toy Story as a My Little Pony. Alien, what are you doing here? This is Jessie's video. Well, it looks like the Pizza Planet alien got a little bit confused about whose video this was. Here comes Jessie, and she came out so awesome. Honestly, this is probably the most complex custom that I've ever made because there was just so much detail that went into this pony, and I just love the outcome. The original buttons that I used in the video I thought were a little bit too big, so I have switched them out to these smaller ones. I went ahead and braided Jessie's hair into one large braid, just like she has in all of the Toy Story movies, and I cut the hair once it was braided so it would be all the same length, and I think that her hairstyle looks so awesome. And her hat, we actually borrowed it from a Jessie toy doll that I had in my pony room. I cut out little squares at the top of the hat so that way her little pony ears would stick right out, and she looks Perfect. Well, that's it for today's custom tutorial. I hope that you have enjoyed it. If you have an idea for which cartoon character should be ponyfied next, let me know down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, little pandas. Until next time, bye. You can follow me online to get the latest news and updates, like my Facebook page, facebook.com/MandaPanda Toy Collector, or follow me on Instagram at MandaPanda Toy Collector. Wanna mail me something? Guess what? You can. Mail it to MandaPanda P.O. Box 2855, Humble, Texas 77347.